quite happy being who I am. Dignity is a state that other people think when they look at me.
Yeah.
So sound and movement and dance. Good wiggle feels like good dance. Feels like good movement. Feels like wriggling on the floor with the kids. Why wouldn't you create a group where adults get to wriggle on the floor? And I'm realizing the words oral, irrigated, and wiggling on the floor could be really misconstrued. But you know,
or properly construed. I think that might not be a bad thing, right? Like, why judge? You just need a twister board and some. Wait, never mind. Okay,
wiggleator. We need to invent a wiggleator. There
we go. Sure. But to the point of dance and movement and sound, I think, and the idea of like the crowd being, again, like but not on purpose, right? Like they didn't start out that way. It was the music that kind of like hit their nervous system, and they all start moving to the music. They're not choosing. Harmonize is a good one. And you mentioned like Scottish, some Scottish music, Scottish folk dance, Scottish
country dancing,
country dancing. So line dancing, which I assume is probably similar to Scottish country dancing, but maybe not. But American phenomenon of people literally lining up and dancing. I think it kind of got its start from like square dancing, but square dancing actually required like memorization and coordination. Line dancing is like the simpler form of that. So I live in Berlin, and I don't go clubbing, but I have been to at least one Berlin club, and I was always like kind of trepidatious about it because I can't dance. And I was like, these are dance clubs, and people go dance to techno music, and I'm like, these are going to be like amazing dancers. And I know you people listening to this, you won't get it, but I want to see Mark's face. And so techno dancing is just this.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Big fish, little fish, cardboard box. Yeah. If you repeat that motion,
yes, yeah,
and bob your head, you have techno dancing.
Yeah, but the euphoria that people talk about from going and listening to techno and dancing for hours, and we'll leave substances out of it for now, right? Is that I think it's that letting go, right? Like it's in a non-judgmental space where it's really just about like, if are you enjoying the music? If you're enjoying the music, you can, again, as long as you're not invading somebody else's space, you can do whatever you want. And I think that's where they start to, like, the whole crowd starts to kind of like surge, harmonize together. And one of the things that people talk about with Berlin club culture is, they say it's like going to church. That there's a sense of like unity. There's a sense of psychological safety, right, in this non-judgmental freedom of movement and expression. And I think that's what a wiggle is. It's a non-judgmental freedom of movement and expression.
Why would the fear of judgment stop you from having, or stop anyone, not you particularly, from having the wiggle in the first place? Because I get there's an anonymity in being in a crowd. Yeah, we talk, and we're sort of circling all the way back to fear again, which seems to become this real cycle of you won't look stupid if everyone else is doing it. But in every family party, there's someone who gets up first. In every club, there's someone who starts dancing first, who triggers the motion. In every Mexican wave, there are people who are brave enough the first few times it attempts to go round to stand up while other people look at them and go, "What is that idiot doing?" And then because there's more people, what is the tipping point where the fear goes away and people just harmonize with the rest of the crowd? How many people have to do something before it becomes not socially stigmatic to do it? How many people do we have to get to wiggle before everyone wiggles? That feels like an experiment I want to do.
Flash mob wiggle?
No. Just get a wiggle. Just stand next to someone and wiggle, and with music on, and see if you can get them to wiggle. And how many people around them? When I did a little local village gig recently, it's that clap thing. When you're like in a band, you don't want to clap your hands because you want the crowd to do that. Yeah. And if you start clapping your hands and no one else claps their hands, It's the most soul-destroying thing in the world, right? But if someone in the crowd does it, and then the rest of the crowd catch it, and then it catches, you can hear it. You can hear at a point where people start to do it together, and you wonder if it's that they don't do it because they're not feeling the music, or they don't do it because they don't want to feel stupid. How many people have to clap? What percentage of the room before it's no longer a fear of doing that anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a domino effect more than a group decision. And I think there's, and I think this is true of most things about us humans, right? There's a spectrum. And in this case, like, the spectrum of intent to clap. There's one person who just gives zero fucks, right? One of my best friends, Tom, he is this person, right? Like, and we always joke with Jasper, we're like, we're going to send you to Uncle Tom camp because Uncle Tom is someone who will talk to everybody, and not because he's trying to like gain favor or anything. He's just happy talking to people, and so he does. And you go somewhere with Tom, and Tom will almost invariably know somebody, right, wherever you are, and you're like, Tom, how do you like why? How do you know that person? He's like, oh, I don't even know, but we just somewhere, and so his ability to be vulnerable is very high, because he's not thinking about, well, is somebody gonna like, if he says hi to somebody, or if he says, like, we were in Amsterdam and he was just like, oh, hey, nice bike, right? And they were riding like a share bike, like clunker, and the woman was just like, it's just a swap feet. He's like, yeah, cool, like, still nice bike, right? Like, I just wanted to give you a compliment, and that, like, you see the smile on her face, and she was just like, that's weird, and like, my bike's not nice, but like, it still felt nice that this random person stopped and said, like, nice bike. And again, it was not threatening because he wasn't like trying to get her number, right? Like, he was literally just like making a connection available. And so, like, you need the, like, dance like nobody's watching person. You need somebody who's willing to be like, I don't actually need any validation or approval or permission from somebody. I'm just going to dance. But then I think the domino effect comes into play of, there's the next, of 100 people, there's one person that's like, fuck it, I'm going to dance. And then there's maybe 3 or 4 people who are like, okay, like, if one person's doing it, like, I'm in, right? Because like, they really wanted to, but there was something holding them back, right? And then, like, I'm probably in like the 75th percentile if I'm doing that right statistically. I'm far at the back, right? Like, I'm like unless there's something that really connects with me, I'm not that joiner. I'm not going to dance just because I have this, like, I don't have that motivation. But if a good song, I say good song that I like, comes on, yeah, while I'm cooking, like, I'll just start dancing in the kitchen, or I'll dance at work, right? I'll dance crossing the street, and I don't care then, because that's, like you said, like, there's something in the music that moves you. But I do believe there is a sort of domino effect on a dance floor, but also in other parts of life, that somebody has to start it. And I think that, to me, goes back to vulnerability and fear. I do. I think there's a very big loop with creativity and fear. And I think we talk a lot. We process a lot of this, you and I, through our experiences as parents, and both remembering our own childhood, but then sort of feeling, I think, like, lucky and thankful that we get to reevaluate some of our adulting choices, because our kids don't have any of those filters, right? They're just like, banana, and you're like, yeah, fuck it, banana. Like, why does it matter? Because it doesn't matter. But somehow along the way, we adulted, and that meant we're supposed to, well, this has to matter. And so how do you protect our kids from feeling like everything has to matter, right, or has to have consequences, or should be judged? Sidebar, I think there's a topic around competition, and the effect that competition has on our minds in this way, but that's for another day. But yeah, I think, for me, it's the unlearning of all of these, like, conditions that I put upon myself, and they're just not true. They're only true because I made them true for me, in my head.
Then I guess the thing to take away from this is, how do we unadult? How do we teach people to unadult? How do we teach people to enjoy the benefit of a good wiggle and be more Uncle Tom. Yeah. I think that the concept of like leaving connections available for people is a powerful one.
Yes.
But we can talk about competitions another day, but I try not to be a competitive person, but my brain shuts me down, and it just makes me, in certain situations, it makes me ultra competitive. Now, I don't care about the result. I sort of become ultra competitive in giving my best effort, which is weird.
that's not the downside of competition, right? The competition that I'm talking about is not trying your best. Competition that I'm talking about is the desire or the need to win, and it's related to comparison, which I think is like the evil twin of competition. Because the motivational aspect of competition, and I know we're starting to talk about competition, so I'll stop after this. It's not the point, damn it.
What are the chances?
They're good. They're good. I can stop after I say this thing.
I can stop anytime I want,
except now. I think the positives of competition is what allows the baggage of competition to be accepted along the way, because we use competition as like, oh, it drives us forward. And as I said, I think if you feel a strong desire, need to up your game, to do your best in a competitive environment, that's actually a positive thing. I'll use because I'm old, the X Games and alternative sports. I think is a really good example of a snowboarder or a skateboarder is much more likely to want to be competitive and give their best, but be very supportive, right, of other people. And so the first time somebody pulls a trick off, if you can't do it, you're still like, holy shit, right? Like that guy did that, or that girl did that. And you're happy for them, right? Versus European football, right? Which is, I'm going to roll on the floor and cry baby to win, even though I'm actually fine, right? And I'm gaming the system because winning is more important than putting in my best effort. And
we're going to park this because I know that we've had this conversation before, and I want to revisit it again. But we were talking about, because we both work in and around games, right? We talked about how do you make competition where everyone wins. How do you make competition about celebration rather than about the element of competition being that someone has to lose? Why?
So how about
the ultimate of
that's
pulling
our
someone
next
down?
topic.
That could be the next topic.
And homework. Let's find somebody that we can wrangle to come in and talk to us about that.
Who do I know that could talk to us about competition?
I can think of a few game designers that would probably have an opinion. Now, whether they're willing to talk stupid with us, I don't know.
They will, right? What does it matter? We'll find someone dumb enough, and failing that, we'll find someone so bright that they don't realize how dumb we are, because they're just busy talking.
For the TikTok that we never did, I have a hand, but I could play two roles.
Well, no one's going to see our faces, so can you do a voice? What's your interesting voice for a game designer? You have to give the puppet a different voice so people know it's not
for a hand puppet game designer. I'll have to think about that one. But I think it feel like it needs to be more of a deep voice, more of a thoughtful, mindful voice.
Yeah,
either that or
deep into the psyche.
As deep as I can go. No, I don't know. I'll work on that one.
These are the people that live inside your head, right? You're gonna introduce me to the other characters, the many
that's
minds of Sean.
Episode.
Definitely.
But
so while we're talking about next episode,
I think I've named 5 parts of my psyche. I highly recommend.
That's definitely a different episode. I'm really interested to find out what they're called.
Can I tell you one of them? But it's not kid appropriate.
Okay, well, hopefully kids aren't going to listen to this, so go spoil all that.
The Pocket Monster is the first one that I became aware of and made a deal with. So there you go.
I remember you talking about the fuck it monster.
Yeah. Still in my head. Will be for life. We have an understanding now.
I remember the purpose of the fuck it monster, right? It's just basically fuck it. Yeah.
If you ever need to flip a metal table, I got your guy. All right. On that note,
Services for rent. I think this is probably an appropriate way to end it. Even though, do you know what? I have an old friend from back home. His name's Robin, and we lived in the same town. He was from a different town, and he moved to my town. And when we lived in the same town, we ended every conversation with, "Okay, I'll see you in the pub in 10 minutes." That generally where we ended up, right? Which is probably why I don't drink anymore. But when he moved away, we had this thing we never knew how to end phone conversations because you couldn't do it. I'll meet you in the pub in 10 minutes. And we settled on, I'll meet you in the pub in a week. And then we'd have to go meet in the pub a week later.
How about I'll meet you in front of the fridge in 5 minutes? And I mean, you'll be in front of your fridge. I'll be in front of my fridge. But I'll meet you there.
In front of
Because
the fridge.
neither one of us drinks.
No. I drink. I just don't drink alcohol. If I didn't drink, I'd die. There you go. That was Mr. Pedant. There you go. He's got a name. That's the part of my psyche. I can't control him.
Fantastic.
Right. We're going to go.
Yes.
It's been awesome as ever. I'm going to stop the recording. And we'll say bye to... Oh, we haven't decided. What's the magic number?
Hang on. Random number generator. I've got one.
It has to be a number less than 100 for fun, because I love the fact that they're so rare.
I'm pulling it up. Randomizers.
For the benefit of the tape, Sean is now spontaneously wiggling while
I
singing
was.
a game
That's true.
theme tune.
That's great. Wait, where? Let's enter your generator. Between 1 and 100, pushing the randomize button. 41.
No way. One less than last time. That just feels right.
Randomization and the joy of randomization, the freedom that randomization can give you if you're willing to give into randomization, should be another topic. So we have competition, and we're going to find somebody to talk to us about competition. We're going to talk about the psyches inside our head, and at some point, that'll be a good vulnerability episode.
Yep.
And then randomization, another potential topic.
We could just discuss randomization by dicing an entire episode where we decide what we're going to talk about next by rolling dice and using odds or evens just to take us on a journey. So a random podcast that's randomly generated, randomly using a random dice. Then we only have to decide who gets to roll the dice. Maybe we need a third-party arbiter to roll the dice on our behalf.
I think we should go on Fiverr and we should hire somebody.
I don't get to roll dice.
Yes, we have a plan. I like this. This is good.
It shall be done. I hope you're writing this stuff down because I'm not, and I'll have forgotten in like 30 seconds anyway.
That's what the transcription's for.
It's not going to transcribe it proper. Oh, you said it, it'll be fine. If I said it, it's just going to go, haggis. A short bagpipe.
Did you? Speaking of Scots as a language, have you been following along with Scots Tober?
I'm now following Miss Puny Penny, who just is not only the Scots words are words that I don't know. I have now decided, thanks to Miss Puny Penny, and I think I actually wrote a comment to her on the last one, which is that Scots is a language, but that's not why she's funny. The way she slams down the trolls, or they slam down the trolls, just makes me
so good.
It's so good. Such a witty, confident, and clever young person who's just probably has lots of fear, but has the persona of not having any fear, which is great.
Yes.
So if you're still listening, which why would you be after this? Is probably going to be like an hour long, and you missed this on the last one. In the last one, we said, go watch Miss Puny Penny.
We'll put a link.
Do that. Yeah, we put a link. But yeah, who reads links?
People do.
Do they?
Yeah.
In fact, extraneous information. It's not directly in front of me.
Linking. Last addition to the list of topics, the following of, right, like I don't remember, what's her name, Miss Puny Penny.
I think it's Miss Puny Penny. I think.
Okay, well, if we got that wrong, we apologize. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't find her Instagram by looking for her. And I'll be honest, I don't actually know how I found her. But I find a lot of the most interesting things to me by through connections, right? So, I'll follow a chef, and they talk about like a local producer that they work with. I follow the local producer they work with, and then they say like, oh, now we're supplying this other restaurant, and all of a sudden I have a new restaurant to go try. And I think it's just like this. The 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, right? Just the 6 degrees of bacon. But there's something about the connectivity of affinity connections that I think is also worth exploring.
Yeah, I've just looked it up while you're here. When I turned on my phone, this person was at the top of my phone, and I believe it's Miss Punny Penny. Now, I'm not, if it's obviously a play on Money Penny,
yes,
which I've now just got, and now I feel really stupid because I thought it was Puny Penny for all this time. So maybe I definitely apologize.
That's the Scots version of it.
I just assumed puny as in small, and that's just the wrong thing to think. So Punny Penny, there we go. It's a really good pun, and it has pun in it, and I didn't get it, which obviously shows how stupid I am, but there we go. Now I got it eventually.
Stupid is not a nice word.
I use it playfully. I know you get upset when I say it, and I don't really believe I'm stupid, but I like saying it, and sometimes it just tricks other people into thinking I'm stupid so that I can manipulate the situation to my own benefit. So,
which is why it's not a nice word. Additional topic: words that Sean thinks are not nice. There we go.
That's a very long list from what I remember.
Yeah.
Okay. You're racking the topics up. That's fine. I'll try and get a topic in at some point about something. Why Sean keeps buying musical instruments and not learning them. There you go. That's a good one.
Speaking of which, do you need any? Because I've got some.
I can't. Like we ended the last one with "Don't Tell Tanya." I'm not allowed. We have one in, one out. I keep sneaking them into the house. The other day, I almost bought electric bagpipes the other day. Who knew that was the thing? Because you can plug them in and play them and no one can hear.
I mean, that is probably the best innovation in bagpipes in recent history. So I just, sorry, last story, because sneaking them into the house. I worked at eBay many years ago, and I was doing research on people who shopped on eBay, and particularly fashion shoppers. And it turned out that actually, like, fashion browsing on eBay is like a pastime. And so, like, some people, who use their phone to play games, but browsing like handbags, shoes, accessories was like, oh no, I gotta do that at the end of the day just to like relax. And so, like, before there was doom scrolling on Instagram, there was doom scrolling on eBay for handbags.
Yeah.
And so there was this one woman who, let's call her a handbag aficionado. And she would order, I think she had like over 50 handbags, and she would order them to her place of work. And then she would do what you said, which was, because her husband would get angry with her for like buying another handbag. And so she would have a stack of like 10 or 15 handbags at her office under her desk. And then she would slowly just like integrate them into the house, right? Like she would bring one to work, and then she'd bring a different one home. And he didn't notice, because she didn't get a box, she didn't get a delivery. And this allowed her to just slowly increase like the closet of bags. And she was so proud. It was such a lovely moment. She was just like, she's like, I got this.
So deceitful, but yeah. I think that happens.
But it brought her such joy.
I get told that sometimes. I've had this for ages. Did you not know? And I'm like, the fact you're saying you've had it for ages, does that mean that I knew we bought it? You didn't say that, or does that mean that you bought it and it's been in the house for a long time? And I'm not blessed with the greatest sense of attention to things that aren't directly in front of me. So if it's, what were the old phrases? Definitely not child friendly. Can I eat it? can I fuck it? If the answer's no to both these things, it's no use to me, and I move on to a little older and a little more nuanced than that now, but perhaps a younger me. But yeah, so I think I've maybe been tricked in many things. And now I'm looking around the living room and going, have these things always been here? Do I know all the things that are in this room?
There's a koala joke related to what you just said. If I can't eat it, if I can't fuck it. But I'm gonna end the conversation on not telling you the koala joke. So
Oh, okay. You text it to me later. I know you will. Anyway, right. I'll catch you later. Have a lovely evening, mate. It's been awesome speaking. I'm just gonna hang up rather than stopping recording. So
yep, sounds good. Cheers.
Catch you soon, Sean. Bye.
Bye.